Kaya Minum ano.
So, pwede ko makuha. Itong 4 points na mo rin.
Pero clear sa consumers.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. And good morning, everyone, and to our televiewers and our YouTube account, DPWH Second DEO. This morning, we will be conducting pre-bid conference on the following contract ID numbers: 24KF0066 and 24KF0070. But before we formally start this pre-bid conference, may I request everyone for a silent prayer, after which is the roll call of attendance by our procurement head, Engineer Hamima Samitori.
Good morning, everyone, and our televiewers. For the attendees of this pre-bid conference, from the back members, the Chief of the Administrative Section, back Chairperson, Ma'am Naima Tusbari.
Present.
Chief of Construction, Chief of Quality Assurance Section, back regular members, Sir Inudaran Kasati.
Present.
Assistant Chief of Construction Section, back provisional member, Sir Waida Bakar.
Present.
Yours truly, Hamima Sanvitori, Vice Head of Procurement. Abdul Junaldin Iskander, member back DPWH.
Present.
Norjihan Nakabando, member back DPWH.
Present.
Muhammad Ishar Muammar, member back DPWH.
Present.
Annabel Piñones, member back Secretariat.
Present.
Suhura Bani, member back Secretariat. Andrea Jamil, member back Secretariat. Present. And Ronette Chan Fabre, member back Secretariat. And we have no attendees from the participating bidders. That's all for the results.
Thank you. This pre-bid conference is conducted pursuant to RA 9184 under Section 22.3, which requires the procuring entity to conduct pre-bid conference mainly to discuss, clarify, and explain about eligibility requirement, technical component, and financial component of the contract to be bid. Among others, it includes also the discussion of activities in the awarding of contracts once the project is bid. Importantly, this is the right time for questions and clarifications from the prospective bidders before the conduct of the opening of bids. Since the back members are in quorum, we may now start to discuss the following: contract data, technical and financial proposals, eligibility requirements, and awarding of contract.
Morning for the contract of data. First project, contract ID 24KF0066. The name of contract of basic infrastructure program, multi-purpose building or facilities to support social services, construction of multi-purpose building, Barangay Inudaran 2, Sapad, Lanao del Norte. Scope of works, facilities for engineers, other original requirements, civil, mechanical, electrical, and sanitary plumbing works, earthworks, flame and reinforced concrete works, finishing and other works, electrical works, and mechanical works. The cost of the bidding document is 5,000 pesos with an ABC of 4,949,655 pesos and 69 centavos. The contract duration is 155 calendar days. Next project, 24KM0070, construction or rehabilitation of water supply, septage, and sewerage, rainwater collector system, rainwater collector in public facilities, 2024, at Lala, Kapatagan, SND, and Iligan City, Lanao del Norte. Number one, Barangay Kirapan Evacuation Center, SND, Lanao del Norte, 1 unit. Number two, Kapatagan Provincial Hospital, Kapatagan, Lanao del Norte, 3 units. Number three, Barangay Rauan, MPB, Lala, Lanao del Norte, 1 unit. Number four, DPWH DEO Office, Del Carmen, Iligan City, 1 unit. And number five, Barangay Magpataw, MPB, Lanao del Norte, 1 unit. Scope of works, project billboard or signboard, structural excavation, gravel fill, structural concrete, class 8 days, reinforcing steel, grade 40, structural steel, zero line works, and plumbing fixtures. The ABC of 2,894,088 pesos and 5 centavos with a contract duration of 80 calendar days. The cost of bidding documents is 4,000 pesos.
For the components of technical and financial proposal, bids are submitted simultaneously in 2 separate envelopes. First envelope contains the technical bid component, including the eligibility docs, technical requirements, and if any Class B documents. On the other hand, the second envelope contains the financial bid component. Kindly provide at least 2 copies of your proposal, the original copy and the second copy. Bid submission may be done manually or electronically at the flash address. This is our new checklist as of October 2021. Our technical component has 3 kinds of documents. The first one is the legal documents, which composes of the valid fellowship certificate or SEC, DTI or CDA, mayor's or business permit, tax clearance per EO 398 series of 2005, technical civil works application or CWA refers to a software application to register contractors' information and to determine the eligibility of contractors for civil works projects. If not enrolled in CWA, attach the Class A and Class B documents not covered by fellowship's certificate. Second document is the technical technical documents, which is further classified as Class A and Class B documents. For the Class A documents, contains the statement of ongoing government and private contracts, including contract awarded but not yet started, SLCC, pickup license, bid security or bid securing declaration, For Class B documents, the joint venture, valid joint venture agreement, registration for the type and contract to be bid, and the special pickup license itself. If not, if enrolled in CWA Class A and B documents, if any, are to be updated. There are four acceptable form of bid security. The first one is the cash or cashier's manager check, which is the 2% of the ABC to be bid. The second is bank guarantee draft or irrevocable LC, also 2% of ABC to be bid. Third one is the surety bond callable upon demand, which is 5% of the ABC to be bid. And lastly, the bid securing declaration revised, no percentage required. For the project requirements, contains the organizational chart, list of contractors, key personnel, list of contractors, equipment, and the omnibus sword statement, if applicable, original notarized secretary certificate in case of a corporation, partnership, or cooperative, or original special power of attorney of all members of the GB, giving full power and authority to its office to sign the OSS and do acts to represent the bidder. The last kind of document for the technical proposal is the financial proposal. It composes of the audited financial statements and the net financial contracting capacity. Lastly, the financial component, only the second envelope of the financial envelope of eligible bidders whose first envelope has been rated pass shall be enveloped. The second envelope shall contain the following components: the bid form, the summary of bid process and bill of quantities, detailed estimates, and the cash flow. For the criteria of eligibility processing, bid evaluation, and post-qualification, all procurement is done through competitive bidding, except as provided in RA 9184 and its IRR. The PAC We are encouraging our bidders to follow this DEO 51 series of 2010, which required all contractors doing business in our department to be registered in this CWR system. Contractors kindly always monitor and update your documents. Expired CPA files will affect your eligibility results. Make a habit to attach your updated Class A and Class B documents. BAC assumes no responsibility for the contractor's lapses, for all formats needed are as always been provided. If happen you cannot access our two websites, the PhilCheps and the department website, you can always visit our office. Kindly attach your DTI certificate for sole proprietorship and SEC or CDA for corporation. Mayor's business permit renewable every end of the year. Please do take note what kind of or line of business do in the documents. Tax clearance renewable every year. Statement of all ongoing government and private contractors. Kindly attach your CRC or contract, NOAA, and NTP to support this document. SLCC, attach your CRC or contract, NOAA, NTP, COC, and certificate of final inspection to support this document. Remember, SLCC should be greater than 50% of the ABC to be bid. Pickup renewable every year and not valid until your signature is affixed at the topmost right of this document. Kindly check the DMC 85 series of 2020 for the revised form of our bid securing declaration. It should be signed and notarized. Our district usually requires 6 to 8 personnel per project depending on the project profile to be bid, mainly PM, PE, ME, lab tech, foreman, safety officer, and or survey engineer and quantity engineer. It is requirement to affix the TIN of your PM, PE, and ME on the individual affidavit of personnel, and to attach the updated PRC ID of your PE and the updated ME certificate of your ME. Make sure your ME only works for you. If happen to be caught that he or she is working for other firm, you will be disqualified. Redundant personnel means disqualification as per the required personnel for this project. Kindly see our bid data sheet. Moreover, list of key personnel shall be supported with a signed and notarized affidavit for each required personnel. Their individual affidavit shall contain the necessary data of the personnel concerned and its lack of experiences, especially for the PM, PE, and ME. Make sure that the information on both documents will coincide with each other. The list of equipment with proof of ownership. All required equipment to be pledged shall be mentioned in the list of equipment. Owned and leased equipment shall be categorized properly. Be mindful on the units required for each equipment. Always indicate the plate, motor, body, and/or serial number of your pledged equipment and its location and condition. Kindly indicate properly this kind of ownership you have for each equipment if it is owned with OR or CR, list, deed of sale, or official receipt. All proof of ownership attached shall be clear and readable as per required equipments. For this project, kindly see our bid data sheet.
For continuation, for the Omnibus Warrant Statement, please see the Department Memorandum Circular 85 Series of 2020 for the back new forms. Please take note that this is now items 1 to 10. OSS for the sole proprietorship is distinct from the corporation, so make yourself familiar with it. Next is the audited financial statements and the income tax return. It shall be duly signed and stamped by the BIR with signature and name. Next is the NFCC. It should be greater than the ABC to be bid. All new bidders are advised to visit the quality assurance section to secure this certificate issued by the district QA's chief. Next is the additional reminder for as per DO 11 series of 2017 with the subject inclusion of the minimum materials testing equipment in the technical component of bid. Considering that materials testing equipment are essential during construction stage of a project, it shall therefore be included in the technical requirement of the bid together with the other major equipment as contained in the technical envelope, which shall be subjected to preliminary examination and further verified during the post-qualification stage. This is not part of the standard checklist. However, the district advised the interested bidders to conduct site inspection ahead of time to ensure the actual condition of the site. This is done not just to avoid problems on the project implementation, but also to give you and the district time to clarify all concerns. You are given not later than 7 calendar days before the opening of bid for your concerns and clarifications. All clarifications and revisions will be posted either as bid bulletin or supplemental or a notice. All joint ventures shall provide original special contractor's license issued by PCAB. Herein the names of both parties shall be indicated. Photocopied special license is discouraged. Joint venture special license shall be supported with original joint venture agreement. It should be signed and notarized. Herein the names of both parties shall be indicated, including the percentages. Also, both parties shall affix their signature in this agreement with at least 2 witnesses. Again, photocopied agreement is discouraged. For the typical components of financial proposals, for the bid form, bids above ABC shall be automatically disqualified. In the bill of quantities, avoid rounding off the quantities. Failure to follow means disqualification. If there is discrepancy between inwards and in figure, the inwards will prevail. Every item number, description, unit, and quantity cited in the bid documents shall be followed, revision of which means disqualification. And BOQ is crucial in bid evaluation. The BAC recommends that it should be prepared carefully. Always double check it if necessary. Along with the BOQ, a summary of bids shall be attached. In the detailed estimates, kindly avoid lump sum items upon estimating. Lastly, the fourth component of the financial proposal, cash flow by quarters. For the bid supplement number for ID number 24KF0070 with the subject correction amendment on approved budget cost, quantities, and contract duration. Posted na po ito sa PhilJIPS and sa DPWH website. Just an additional reminder, all notarized documents should be filled up with updated community tax certificate of the proprietor. All documents in the bid proposal should be clear and readable, especially sa technical envelope. Affix initial on every page, observe tabbing and pagination, and kindly use A4 size paper. Issuance of BDocs is ongoing until April 8, 2024 at 12 noon in the procurement unit of this office, and opening of bids will be on April 8, 2024 at 2 p.m. at conference room of this office. Late bids will not be accepted. For the three-strike policy, as per DEO 28 series of 2024, the DPWH introduces an updated three-strike policy. This policy is aimed at enforcing adherence to the procurement guidelines stipulated under Section 69.1.I of the 2016 Revised Implementing Rules and Regulations of Republic Act R 9184. Under this policy, if a bidder commits 3 offenses or acts described as all other acts that tend to defeat the purpose of competitive bidding, they shall be subjected to an administrative penalty. These offenses or acts are further classified into 3 major categories as follows. Classification of offenses that triggers the three-strike policy and exceptions. Number 1 is the withdrawal from the bidding process, submission of a non-participation letter, or failure to submit a bid after purchasing the bid documents. Second is the submission of late bids without valid reasons as determined by the BAC. Third is the submission of patently insufficient bid. A patently insufficient bid refers to a bid that fails to include or comply with certain mandatory requirements. The determination of whether a bidder committed such an offense may occur as outlined for the during eligibility screening and or shortlisting. Number 1 is the submission of expired PhilJIPS registration or a PhilJIPS certification containing expired Class A legal and financial documents. Second is the failure to include certificate of employment, contract agreement among permanent personnel and staff of the firm, and curriculum vitae in the application for eligibility and shortlisting, which are evaluated during the shortlisting for consulting services projects. During bid evaluation, number 1 is failure to submit required bid forms as outlined in Annex C, detailing the complete list of required bid forms. Second is the submission of incomplete, insufficient, or defective documents due to the non-inclusion and or omission of mandatory provisions and statements for the required bid forms as per Annex C, outlining the mandatory provisions of required forms. submission of an unauthorized bid securing declaration, an omnibus warrant statement, and joint venture agreement or statements from all the potential joint venture partners with the exception during the declaration of state of calamity or implementation of community quarantine or similar restrictions declared or being implemented either in the locality of the procuring entity or of the bidder. Fourth is the submission of the bid form, price schedules, bid securing declaration, omnibus warrant statement, and joint venture agreement without the name, legal capacity, and signature of the bidder or its authorized representative. Next is the nomination of key personnel of a profession different from what is required by the bidding documents, or in the case of consulting services, proposing a key personnel whose educational background is different from the required by the terms of reference. Next is the failure to submit proof of ownership, lease, or purchase agreement of pledged equipment. Next is the failure to submit the required certification of key personnel as per Department Order Number 9 Series of 2012, or in the case of consulting services projects, failure to submit certifications as required by the terms of reference. Next is the failure to comply with the required minimum number of key personnel and equipment as stated in the bidding documents. During post-qualification, participation in bidding for consulting services or goods and services contracts by a bidder whose business type category as indicated on the mayor's permit does not match or unrelated to the contract being bid. Second is the participation in bidding for infrastructure projects by a bidder whose allowable range of contract cost as indicated on the pickup license does not match with the specific requirements of the infrastructure project being bid for in terms of category, classifications, and size ranges. That's all for the eligibility.
Before the awarding of contract, we will remind the bidders on the Department Order Number 115, Series of 2021, with subject further enhancing the specific policy guidelines under the provision of DEO 88, Series of 2012, with subject to imposition of sanctions on contractors and DPWH implementing officials for failure to undertake repair works for any damage to the project within the defects liability period prior to the issuance of certificate of acceptance. The focus of the above mentioned DEO is the issuance of certificate of final acceptance after submitting the required warranty bonds. So the following measures should be adopted by the DPWH implementing offices nationwide. First, the non-submittal of warranty certificates should be a ground for the disqualification of contractors during the post-qualification process of their currently bid out projects. Second, projects without certificate of final acceptance should be reflected in this contractor's information profile. And the third is, during the procurement process, the contractor should be required to include authenticated copies of certificate of final acceptance of their completed projects prior to the issuance of the notice of award. So for the issuance of award, after determining the lowest calculated responsive bidder or the LCRB, the procuring entity shall issue an award to the said LCRB, and within 10 calendar days, the following information shall be submitted by the bidding bidder. First, the notice of award with the bidder signed conforming for a joint venture JV contractors pick up special JV license and JV agreement, performance security with the notarized confirmation, duly signed construction methods, duly signed precedence diagram and bar chart with S4 by cash flow, duly signed manpower schedule, duly signed equipment utilization schedule, construction safety and health program, contractors all risk insurance or the carry with notarized confirmation, latest income tax and business returns duly stamped and received by the BIR and the updated tax clearance. For a local contractor, certification under oath stating that the contractor is free and clean of all tax liabilities. And last but not the least, the duly signed anti-payment management plan. The performance security shall be in an amount not less than the required percentage of the total contract price in accordance with the following schedule. For a cash or cashier's manager check issued by a universal or commercial bank, the amount is 10% of the contract price. Second form is a bank draft guarantee or a revocable letter of credit. The amount is 10% of the contract price. And the last form is a surety bond callable upon demand, which is 30% of the contract price. The performance security shall remain valid until issuance by the procuring entity of the certificate of final acceptance. And that's all for the awarding of contract.
Thank you. Since all contract data, eligibility requirements, technical and financial components, including award, are all discussed, this pre-bid conference is now open for questions and clarifications from our bidders. Since there is no attendees from the prospective bidders, may I request Engineer Pasagi for the adjournment of this pre-bid conference?
I move for the adjournment of our trade conference.
I second the motion.
So this pre-bid conference is hereby adjourned. Thank you.